In left today is James Sniggle. In center field is Promotional. In right field is Ryan Sickman. Behind the plate today is Ryan.
Good afternoon and welcome to Greensboro, North Carolina, home of the UNCG Spartans as they get set to take on the Furman Paladins. I'm Scott Wine, joined by Isaiah St. Hilaire. The final game in this series, one would call it a championship Sunday between these two teams. UNCG has already won the series 2-0 so far in the 3-game set, and they will turn to Dan Lotes on the hill to win and sweep the rest of the games. Lotes comes into today. His ERA looks like this, a 5.46 ERA, 7 appearances, 5 starts, 29 2/3 innings worked, 27 hits, 20 runs, 18 of those earned, 16 walks, and 30 strikeouts. He'll be opposed by a lineup that hasn't really been able to get it going all the way. They showed signs a little bit yesterday, did the Paladins. Their lineup looks like this. Leading off and playing right field, Jabari Richards. Batting second and playing left field, Carter Grote. Batting third and playing first base, Brandon Elmy. Batting cleanup and catching today, Jason Costa. Batting fifth and playing center field, Landon Kay. Batting sixth and DHing today, Sky Overton. Batting seventh and playing second base, Sims Griffith. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Dylan Love. And rounding out the lineup, playing third base, Jake Crawford. As Lotes will step in, and the first pitch will be on its way exactly at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 noon Central. Lotes a guy that's started out in that midweek role. His last start actually came in the midweek against UNC Asheville. He pitched 4 2/3 innings that contest. Gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned. Walked 5. That was kind of the undoing. He did strike out 8 in the appearance. And Isaiah, this is the Richards guy in the top of the order that's really kind of got things going, especially yesterday for the Paladins lineup.
Yeah, he sure did, Scott. Yesterday he was very productive for the Paladins yesterday, and he just wants to get to that start. As yesterday he started with a triple against UNCG's pitcher Matt Frisbee yesterday, and looking to get that strong start, get that confidence booster again for the Paladins this afternoon as we see him get a free base right there with the walk.
Yeah, that's a 5-pitch walk. That's not really what you want if you're Dan Lotes to get things started. But like you said earlier, he did have a triple to start the game yesterday, so maybe it might be a little bit of a disaster relief kind of start. You don't want to give up a triple right away. But defensively, the Spartans look like this. Behind home plate is clinched. First base, Goss. Second base, Imbler. Shortstop, Shelton. Third base, Webster. And from left to right in the outfield, Spitznagel, Moritz, and Sigmund. Lotes misses a little bit outside there, and it's a little bit concerning when you start off with control issues if you're Lotes. He has had problems with that before. We mentioned earlier he had 5 walks his last time out, 4 walks in the start versus Elon earlier in the year as well. That pitch will catch a little bit higher than the last pitch for a strike. So kind of trying to locate that outside part of the plate. Missed the first time, caught that time. Obviously working the hitter away here in Carter Grote. Grote drove in Richards a day ago on a sac fly to right to start the scoring. A game in which the Spartans would go on to win 6-5 in the bottom of the 11th. A walk-off sac fly RBI from the third baseman today, Caleb Webster, and he'll be tagged out on the throw over. Good play there by Lotes to get Richards leaning. A good pickoff there.
Definitely a good play, Scott, as Richards, as mentioned before, started off with a triple, advancing for a free base the first time out against Lotes today, but Lotes having really good awareness as we take a look at it one more time. Very good awareness by Michael Goss as well. Good play for UNCG.
Yeah, as you can tell there, it seemed like Richards was leaning towards stealing there. Saw something in the delivery of Lotes, and he thought it was to the plate. Instead, Lotes, good pickoff move to get him leaning and throw over to first in time for the out. That'll bring up Brandon Elmy. Carter Grote still at the plate, sorry. He'll strike out, so a little bit ahead of ourselves. So strikeout swinging. And after getting a little bit of trouble issuing a 5-pitch walk, Lotes comes back with a pickoff and a strikeout. Now we'll see Brandon Elmy,
as we look at the replay again, just a really good ball right down the middle and caught Grote looking.
Yeah, exactly. He's working him outside there, and he got him on the strikeout pitch. He's able to get him to reach on a pitch that was maybe just a hair outside the zone, but when you're ahead in the count, you're able to use that to your advantage and maybe work a little bit further outside the zone, force Grote to kind of reach out on one. Exactly what he did there.
Going back to the infield, Caleb Webster, the freshman, yesterday had a magnificent run yesterday as far as producing a double play for the UNCG Spartans. Just played really well yesterday, Scott, and just, of course, looking to build off of that momentum today.
And it seems like Lotz is working down and away, and that's exactly where you want to see him hit. As he keeps hitting that down and away spot, just fighting away from these hitters. And it's a lineup that's stacked with a bunch of lefties at the top. Righties after their lefty. So Jabari Richards is the only lefty in the lineup, and then it's righty, righty, righty. So he's able to kind of hit the same spot to every hitter, which is extremely important. Keeps the pitcher on its comfort zone, and that'll be a swing and a miss, strike three, and we're headed to the bottom half. A clean inning for Lotz after issuing an opening walk. We're headed to the bottom of the first inning. Nothing on the scoreboard. You're watching UNCG Baseball on the SoCon Digital Network.
Nothing. And UNCG coming to bat. The Reserve Apartments is Greensboro's brand new luxury student living community. Experience fully loaded college living, complete with resort-style amenities like a full-service coffee bistro, saltwater
The
pool,
road to Omaha begins in Greenville, South Carolina. The Southern Conference Baseball Tournament comes to Fluor Field May 23rd through 28th. Enjoy some great college baseball with a trip to the NCAA's on the line in a city the New York Times calls one of the top places to go in 2017. Get your tickets to the tournament and book your rooms in that Greenville today. Experience the games. Explore the city.
Some of the changes I've seen myself since I've been here at UNCG is just, I've been really challenged. I've been really encouraged to come out of my comfort zone.
As a professor, what I feel is most important is to find that passion.
You have this dream of doing something bigger for the world, but you don't know how to get there. This is the place where you go to figure it out.
Hello and welcome back to UNCG Baseball as they're facing the Furman Paladins today for the third and final game of this weekend series with a 2-0 lead. We're going to introduce the batting lineup for the UNCG Spartans today with second baseman Austin Embler starting things off, and left fielder batting second, Ben Spitznagel, center fielder batting third, Andrew Moritz, Michael Goss, first baseman batting fourth, and batting fifth, third baseman Caleb Webster, batting sixth, shortstop Trip Shelton, batting seventh, the designated hitter, Cesar Trejo. Batting eighth, the catcher, Ryan Clinch. And batting ninth, the right fielder, Ryan Sigmund. And Scott, yesterday, Ryan Sigmund, yesterday being 0-4 until he hit that big grand slam out of the park yesterday, which really helped the UNCG Spartans eventually defeating the Paladins in a 7-6 battle. But really huge confidence booster for him yesterday. I think we'll see something like that again today.
You never know. You never know. Baseball's always a different day when you come to the yard, and it'll be Quarles on the mound for Furman. He comes into tonight's contest. Matthew Quarles at 4.76 ERA, a 3-1 win-loss record as he is set to deliver his first pitch here, and it will be popped up, and that should be an out easily into center field. K underneath of it for out number one. 7 starts in all 7 appearances, 1 complete game, 39 2/3 innings worked, 34 hits, 21 runs, all of those earned, 15 walks, and 41 strikeouts. Opponents are batting .234 against the right-handed option, and this is a Quarles guy that's faced the UNCG lineup a number of times. He's so far logged a full 8 2/3 innings against this Spartan lineup. Beginning in 2014 as the first pitch he throws is outside for ball 1 to Spitznagel. He actually made a start his freshman year against UNCG. The Spartans won that contest 8-6. As that pitch will be in there for strike 1. He went 1 2/3 innings of that start, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 of those earned, 1 strikeout, and gave up 1 long ball.
So pretty familiar with the Spartans then.
Exactly right. Now it's going to be popped up, and underneath of it is the shortstop, Love, and that will be out number 2. So quick work with the first 2 hitters.
The center fielder, number 4, Andrew Moritz.
Andrew Moritz. And this is a guy, though, that against UNCG is 0-2 in his 3 appearances. His last time against the Spartans came a year ago this time, April 17th, 2016. He went 5 innings pitched. He gave up 10 runs, all but 1 of those runs were earned, 9 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and 2 home runs, as that pitch will be in there for strike 1. Both of those home runs were given up to L.J. Kalawaya, a draft pick out of this program. That game ended 14-0 in favor of the Spartans in Greenville. A 7-inning shortened game. Conference rules stipulate if you're up by 10 or more after 7 on a getaway day, as that pitch will be rounded over to Griffith, throw over to first in time, and that'll do it. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Quarles. We're headed to the top of the second. Nothing's on the scoreboard. And you're watching UNCG baseball on the SoCon Digital Network.
Want a great way to help student athletes like myself? Look no further than Spiro's Ball. Spiro's Ball will take place April 19th, where you will have a chance to interact with UNCG student athletes while also participating in live auctions. But you don't have to attend the event to be involved. Bidding is now open on silent auction items including vacation getaways, concert tickets, tickets to sporting events, signed UNCG gear, UNCG fan experiences, restaurant packages, and much more. Just visit the Spiro's Ball silent auction bid page. All proceeds benefit student athletes like myself. So what are you waiting for?
Welcome back to UNCG baseball over here with the score being, tied at 0 right now. Both pitchers doing a pretty good job. As Scott mentioned before, Matthew Quarles being quite familiar with the UNCG Spartans. And then Dan Lotz, of course, having a pretty good start against the Paladins this afternoon. Looking to continue that hot start from the top of the first. So up to bat here for the Paladins, we have the catcher Jason Costa, as he will hit a grounder to Trip Shelton, shortstop, who throws a 6-3 play right there to Michael Goss, and that will be the first out for UNCG.
Shelton makes that play look really easy. Go backhand on that play, throw across the diamond, a lot harder than it looks. And that's what happens when you have a junior in the lineup that can play shortstop. He makes a lot of plays look relatively easy, and he's been very good in the lineup for the Spartans all 3 years of his career so far.
That will be the first strike thrown by Loans against Landon Kay, center fielder for Paladins this afternoon. Lowe's throws again, a little low to the outside, will be ball 1. Landon Kay with the .318 average as he hits one out of play down the line towards third base. Strike number 2.
And Lotz this year really hasn't gone the distance for the Spartans. Just a 5-inning start against NC State, best team he's played, and a 6-inning start against Lafayette. There's 2 longest. Everything else is around 3. So Spartans looking to stretch him out a little bit today.
Those throws, Kay will hit that behind him. That will be another foul there, out of play. Count remains the same. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out. And Scott, this is the 3rd and final game of this series this weekend. What are you thinking, Furman being down 2-0 no wins. What do you think they're thinking right now?
I mean, they obviously have to get a win. It's a big spot for them. They need to get on the board in conference play. They're 1-7 in the SoCon, and you get swept. It doesn't certainly help that average. That one's going to be popped into the left. And
Moritz will be chasing after
gone.
it, and that will be out of here.
Yeah, he stroked that one out of here, and that was clear as day. Once it got off the bat, it was out of play, and that's just the 4th home run that Lotz has given up all year, and they come in back-to-back games for the starting pitcher. Gave up one against Nashville and now another one here against Furman. But back to what you're saying, you don't want to get swept in conference series, especially when you're already behind the 8 ball in last place in the conference. You'll see a replay of this here. Just kind of strokes it, left it high and up, and he was working that outside pitch really well in the first inning, and that one's certainly not hitting its spot here in the second. But exactly what you want to do if you're Furman. You want to get on the board first, put the pressure on UNCG, have them battle back instead of what you've been doing all series long and kind of battling back against UNCG.
Definitely, and speaking, of course, about potentially being swept today, it's as Lotz will throw that first strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Very good start, as you just mentioned. Really good hit, of course, towards the left side of the field, outside of the park. Good for Furman as Overton will pop this up out of play behind him. Will count as a 2nd strike. And you're down 2-0, and you're thinking, you know, we might get swept. We're trying not to, of course. You know, as you mentioned, 1-7 in the SoCon, Southern Conference, you know, this season so far. Really good booster as Overton will hit it towards left center field, or right center field, excuse me, and Ryan Sigmund will say to that, the 2nd out.
And that's how you want to do if you're Lotz. You just kind of want to turn the page. You don't want to stress that home run too much and get down, maybe issue a walk, trying to avoid spots. Instead, Lotz kind of settles back in and attacks it very well to get the out there for out number 2.
Yeah, just like they say in football, the quarterback needs to forget all his mistakes, including interceptions or fumbles. Just as pitchers need to forget their runs that they give. As Griffith will hit that towards a grounding towards Chip Shelton there, who hits it to get the out to Michael Goss. That will end the inning. Going back to the bottom of the 2nd, 1-0 Furman. We'll be back after this.
Human beings can be hungry anytime they please. Maybe you messed up and didn't eat enough lunch. Perhaps dinner is very far away. It doesn't matter. Come to Arby's and solve your hunger problems with dollar sliders, cookies, small-sized fries, drinks, and shakes, each for $1 from 2 to 5 p.m., not a.m. Arby's, we have the meat.
And welcome back to the 3rd and final game of the series, Furman versus UNCG. Furman able to produce 1 run with a fly out of the park, really produced by Landon Kay for Furman. So now they're leading 1-0 as the first baseman for UNCG, Michael Goss, will be the leading things off at the bottom of this 2nd inning.
Goss is a guy for UNCG that's really gotten things done for them as of late. He's got a .345 batting average, and that's raised quite a bit. Started off a little bit of a slump earlier in the year. He's got 29 hits. Hits for a little bit of power, 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 3 tank shots. So he's got the ability to kind of get this started for UNCG. Came up in big spots yesterday, got a couple RBIs. So for him to kind of get things started here in the 2nd inning for the Spartans.
We see Quarles set the pitch, throws, will be ball number 1, a little outside the strike zone.
Yesterday, the 3 hitters due up in this inning produced 4 hits for the Spartans, and none bigger than a little RBI action from Caleb Webster on a sac fly to win the game 7-6 in the bottom of the 11th. So this is a part of the lineup that's been very productive for Link Jarrett and his club.
Squirrels will throw the 3rd consecutive ball. 3 balls, 0 strikes. So advantage Goss here right now. Possibly able to walk. Squirrels throws again. That will be the 1st strike.
Yeah, that's like the pitch in Space Jam where the catcher just says, don't swing. 3-0, you just don't swing. You let the pitcher kind of see if he can find the zone.
And that will be strike 2, so now full count.
Yeah, I don't think he found the zone on that one. That looked like it was outside, probably ball 4, but Goss thought it was. Quarles obviously would prefer the strike, and it'll be a full count here.
Quarles throws again. And Goss will hit that towards left center field. And that will be a very good hit, as it will be a double for him.
6th double of the year for Michael Goss, and he continues his hot streak. He's done very, very well in the series. 2 hits in the series opener and 2 hits yesterday. So he's now got 5 hits in the series against this Furman Paladins. Off to a good series. He's the senior out of Cartersville, Georgia. You see, he worked outside and just drove it to straightaway left center, almost about the same spot as Landon Kay, maybe about 10 feet short of a home run.
We now have the freshman Caleb Webster up to bat here with a .424 average. And, Scott, we just can't seem to stop talking about this guy.
Yeah, he's off to a great start. SoCon Player of the Month for the month of March. And he's not a guy that you really expected to do much because he was penciled into that backup shortstop spot behind the guy who's batting next, Trip Shelton. Somehow spot opened up at third base. He hasn't left it open ever since. The Spartans are 18-4 with Webster in that starting lineup and still swinging a hot bat. They're going to take the bat out of his hands here to try to move Goss over to third. Play a little small ball here.
That'll be 1 ball, 1 strike here for Quarles pitching against Caleb Webster. .424 average for a freshman is quite impressive.
And he's doing a really good job here kind of protecting the plate and not giving up easy strikes, trying to get a bunt down on a high pitch. And so far he's got 2 balls and he's trying to get a bunt down. So this is very good plate discipline for the freshman. Quarles checks the runner back in Goss. He's very concerned with that runner. I don't know if runs are going to come at a premium today on a Sunday. That's not only what you see, but already a sign that each team kind of wants to play small ball here as Quarles trying to protect that runner at second and Webster trying to drop down that bunt.
Quarles throws. Webster will hit it out of play, though. Count as a 2nd strike.
Interesting call there. Fake bunt, swing away. And I think that's the right call there is you want to get your freshman swinging the bat. Maybe instead of dropping down a bunt, see if he can hit one.
We'll have the catcher for Furman, Jason Costa, come up and share a little chat with the pitcher.
I think the idea here is to maybe work him down and away, much like each team's pitcher has done so far. Those are the harder pitches to hit because you got to go out, reach your hands out a little bit further, try to pull it. Maybe that's the pitch he goes with here to try to get the strikeout or maybe a lazy ground ball.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 0 outs. Quarles looking to get that first out against Webster here. Quarles throws, almost hitting, looked like maybe possibly skimming the jersey of Caleb Webster here. That will be a 3rd ball, full count now.
Yeah, it looks like Quarles kind of wanted that pitch to slice in and just didn't slice very hard. Stayed on the outside edge. Goss over at second with that leadoff double into left center. Scoring position here.
Webster will pop one up. It will be infield, and the shortstop, Dylan Love, as it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like they jammed in there, did Quarles, and got the easy pop-up for a surefire out. It's the shortstop, Love, able to camp underneath of that high fly ball for quite some time before making the catch.
So now with one out, still a runner, Michael Goss with a leadoff double on second. With Shelton with a .340 average in the season, he's been a pretty good player for the UNCG Spartans this season as well.
He's one of the guys that you can really pencil in every day, and you know you're gonna see him in the lineup patrolling that shortstop spot.
As he hits one towards left field, that will hang in the air for a while until it falls into the glove of Carter Grote. We'll get that second out.
Number 24, Caesar Trejo.
Now we have the DH for today, Caesar Trejo, hitting today with an average of .307 for the season.
And in the series, he is 3 of 8, so he's done very, very well for UNCG. 2 hits yesterday, but he did have 2 punch-outs as well. Punch-out here really doesn't do you any good. Punch-out never does you any good. You really can't advance the runner unless you get a hit, so Trejo's got to make contact, keep the ball in play.
So with 2 outs now, Quarles looking to end the inning here. Trejo waiting the pitch. Quarles throws. That will be a strike. Looked a little bit down towards the corner, maybe a little outside, but it was indeed a strike. Strike 1. Once again, Michael Goss waiting patiently now on second as first hitter in this bottom of the second, hitting and getting that double. So Trejo, of course, productive this season with 32 RBIs. Quarles throws again. That'll be the first ball.
He's one of the main RBI guys in the lineup for UNCG each and every day. He's got the most on the team, and it's really not even close. The next closest is 25 from Austin Embler.
And that's someone I assume Coach Jarrett really enjoys having on the team as Trejo hits one out of play down third. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This is an RBI situation, obviously, but it's a tougher one as you have 2 outs. You really can't get that sac fly. Obviously, you really can't do it at second base, but it takes away a little bit of your options. You've got to get the ball in. You've got to keep it in play. Trejo's one of those guys that can do the sac fly thing. He's got a bit of pop in his bat, so that's a big reason why he has so many RBIs, but he's got a lot of pop. He can drive over the fence as well.
Quarles looking towards second, throws to Trejo. That will be ball 2.
Yeah, it seemed like that pitch started a little bit too high, broke a little bit late. Just didn't have enough cut on it to drop into that strike zone. Quarles has done a good job here kind of battling with Goss over at second base. The last 2 hitters came up in RBI situations as well. He did a good job kind of working around him. He's got the same situation here with Trejo, 1 pitch away.
Quarles throws. And Trejo will hit one to the shortstop, Dylan Love, and that will be a 6-3 play for the final out. So heading into the top of the third, Furman still leading 1-0. We'll be back after this.
One runner left on base. At the end of 2.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Greensboro and Winston-Salem, it would be Jason Bramblett. He attracts hundreds of buyers and creates so much demand that Jason can guarantee if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, he will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back to the top of the third inning now, with UNCG facing the Furman Paladins this afternoon for the, once again, third and final game of the series this weekend, as UNCG unable to score any runs as they actually had a leadoff double hit by Michael Goss, and after that, unable to get him to score. No RBIs produced there, so the score remains the same, 1-0. Furman, of course, looking to add to that lead as Dan Lotz gave up that home run that was hit, of course, out of the park by Landon Kay earlier. Dan Lotz not looking to allow any more of those, I would, of course, assume.
Yeah, one would hope so. Yeah, Lotz is one of those guys that he's got to get settled back in. He did a good job in the first inning, getting in some trouble. Did a good job battling back in that second inning as well. We'll see if he can do it here.
As Love will hit one right near the feet of Lotz, and Embler unable to get that as it passes literally right over the base, second base. It will be a single hit by Love.
And that's the second time a leadoff man's gotten a board. Lotz erased Jabari Richards back in the first with a pickoff. So he's already been in this spot before. He did well to work around it. Struck up the final two batters out of that inning to get to the second.
As Crawford will hit one towards Ryan Sigmund's vicinity, and that will fall into the glove of Sigmund right there. Out number 1 for UNCG.
Aforementioned Richards up to the plate here. He finished yesterday with a very good day. I think he was 3 of 5 off the top of my head. Let me double check. 3 of 6. Was his final line, but the game opener for Jabari Richards, he actually didn't play in the first game. So he worked his way in the lineup yesterday and really earned his worth.
He sure did, Scott. I mean, he was a good 3 for 3 at first, but then came crunch time and kind of lost his fire from there, going 0 for 3 afterwards.
Yeah, I think it had a little bit to do with he just figured out Matt Frisbee. I think after he faced Matt Frisbee 3 times, he really didn't get a hit again. The bullpen pitchers did such a great job for UNCG yesterday to kind of ensure the victory. Both Maynard and Sykes tossed 3 and 4 innings respectively.
As that will be hit in play, and Webster will get that out, though. Very good play by Webster, as we just can't stop talking about this young freshman throwing it to Michael Goss for the second out.
He has such good instincts on the base pass and in the defensive infield. And that's one of the big things of having a shortstop move over to third base. It's a little bit easier to play third base in comparison to shortstop in terms of you have a little bit more reaction time. And it showed there. He's calm, cool, and collected in the throw over to first.
Then we have Carter Grote, who struck out in the top of the first inning today with a 307 average for the season for Furman. 22 RBIs, though, so definitely a guy that has been beneficial for the Paladins this season. So 1 ball and 2 outs, and Dan Lotz looking to close this out as we do have a runner on second.
They advanced on the ground out, so an RBI situation here for Grote, and he's a guy that can do that for Furman. And if you're Furman, you want to desperately put on runs early on, put the pressure on UNCG, let it mount a little bit as you go to the middle innings.
That will be thrown outside of the strike zone there near, or outside of the corner. So ball 3. Not where Lotz would like to be. 3 balls, 0 strikes with 2 outs.
Especially to a guy he struck out in that first inning.
Exactly. So Lotz throws again. That will be a strike. Looked to be a little inside, but that wasn't strike indeed.
Yeah, not too sure that was a strike there. That might be a little bit of generosity from the home plate umpire, Brian Kennedy.
Lotz will definitely agree with that, though.
So it was a little bit way low and inside, one would say.
So 3 balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. Lotz throws again, and that indeed is a walk right there.
Yeah, it's the same exact spot. If you're the hitter, you're not too happy with that one at all.
The first baseman, number 43.
So with Grote now walking to first, 2 runners, 1 on first, being Carter Grote, and the second Dylan Love on second base with now Brandon Elmy up to bat. And he struck out top of the first today so far.
Yeah, that at-bat doesn't kill you if you're Dan Lotz and UNCG because you put a force out at first, second, and third now, so you got a little bit more options defensively. So not necessarily a terrible play. Obviously, you want to get the out, but it does keep a lot more things in play as he misses there on the first pitch to Elmy.
And we'll see the catcher for UNCG, Ryan Clinch, go up and converse with, for about a good 3 to 5 seconds with the pitcher, Dan Lotz, as he now assumes his position.
Yeah, it's probably more of just a reminder, hey, you got this, just work it away like we've been talking about. Don't worry about it. Maybe something like that, something short and sweet to kind of get the pitcher back locked in and Lotz.
Of course, always good to have those encouraging words, especially on game day. So with 1 ball, Lotz throws again, and Elmy will hit that down third base but out of play. So he strike 1 there.
It's already back level in the count for Lotz. He's got to throw him 1 more in the strike zone and really put the pressure on Elmy, force him to swing it maybe something away. Maybe show a little bit more command here. That'd be huge for Lotz to get back ahead of the count.
It sure would with 2 outs. Possibility of closing the inning here. Definitely would, as Lotz will throw again, and that will be strike 2.
And that pitch caught the edge of the strike zone, which also helps Lotz. Working pitches on that outside corner, you can now see maybe Elmy reaching at a pitch you wouldn't necessarily reach at. It looked kind of away on that pitch. So maybe you see Lotz work away once more.
So with 1 ball and 2 strikes, Lotz throws again. That time will be a little to the outside.
Yeah, he worked that away spot just maybe just a little bit further, tried to get Elmy to poke at it. He takes there, so Elmy will have a do-or-die pitch here for Lotz.
So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 2-2-2. Lotz throws. And that will be hit out of play. It's always first, actually into the stands. Hit by Brandon Elmy.
Yeah, it's a good job there by Lotz, working down. Really hard pitch to hit, especially on 2-2.
Brandon Elmy stepping out of the box real quick. Taking a little breather. Now heading back in.
It's a big spot for Lotz, though, because the cleanup hitter, Costa, comes up next. So you really want to get this third hitter out.
Elmy will hit that up towards right field as we have. That will be the third out. That will be the second baseman, Austin Embler, traveling over there. Really good heads-up play, and that will end the inning going into the bottom. The score is still Furman 1, UNCG 0. We'll be back after this.
As we enter the bottom half of the third inning.
big flavor to your next get-together with Subway Catering, featuring good-to-go boxed meals with a side and freshly baked cookie, crowd-pleasing giant subs, and piled-high sandwich platters overflowing with flavorific choices. All made the way you say with everything you love, like jalapenos and Chipotle Southwest sauce. Subway Catering is simple and satisfying, a great value for any budget. Just call 877-360-CATER or visit Subway.com and let us take care of any occasion. Subway, cater fresh.
And welcome back to UNCG versus the Furman Paladins today. Furman still leading 1-0, unable to produce any runs in the bottom of the third. Now here in the bottom of the, top of the third. Now here in the bottom of the third, UNCG batter that will be leading off is Ryan Clinch with a .310 average for the season, 16 RBIs, 4 for 5 in stolen bases. So he's a pretty fast man, huh, Scott?
Yeah, I think UNCG doesn't really, they don't really necessarily go to the well all the time for stolen bases, but when they do, they've got guys that are effective, especially Trejo, Clinch, Sigmund. They've all got multiple RBI, multiple stolen bases here in the back half of the order. The best, though, Andrew Morant's up in that 3 spot. He only has 9 stolen bases, so not a lot of steal potential up and down this lineup, but they do have the ability when it is called.
That will be a swing and a miss as Clinch does that. Quarles here, strike 1.
Quarles has done a really good job for Furman kind of on this Sunday. Expect maybe a lot of runs. He's done a good job keeping this offense down for the Spartans so far.
It will be strike 2, and you were mentioning earlier he's kind of used to this UNCG Spartans team, and can only assume that that would definitely affect, his cool, calm, collected composure right now that he's keeping.
Yeah, I mean, he's a senior. That's what you expect your seniors to do is he strikes out Clinch there on 4 pitches. And very, very effective sequence there for Quarles.
As now Ryan Sigmund will be up to bat, the right fielder for UNCG. And his average for the season, not where he probably wants it to be with 250. However, but definitely one of the better players, as we spoke about him yesterday, being 0-for-4 and hitting that grand slam to help UNCG tie the game before winning it.
As our friend Daniel Lamont Walker tells us all the time, it's not always the guy that gets the winning RBI, as Caleb Webster did yesterday. Sigmund was quite a hero himself, tying it in the bottom of the 11th as well. Daniel Lamont always hooking us up with the stats and the storylines as we go into each game. We got to give him a shout out.
So now with 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out, Quarles against Sigmund here. Quarles throws, and Sigmund will hit that right into the glove of the second baseman.
So he was off the bag. He kind of reached out over. I thought he got back in time before Sigmund got there, but it should be an error on the second baseman, I'd have to imagine, on the throwaway.
That was at an attempt to be a 5-3 play. Riffic to Elmy as we take a look at it again. Perhaps. Maybe not really good angle there, but wow, just not really good awareness right there of where your foot is at, huh, Scott?
Oh, I mean, he just got pulled off the bag. He was in position to make the play. It was a bad throw there by the second baseman. Griffith kind of pulled him away. I think that's the main issue there. He just was unable to stay there. It's always tough for the first baseman to make that play. They're called on to do it a bunch, but I definitely think that play was on Griffith. He threw it away. It's a tough play for the stretch Elmy to get to.
So still 1 out as Sigmund is safe off of that error by Furman.
You'll see a replay of it here. It's just a routine play, and just threw him off the bag.
And you are definitely right, indeed. As now Austin Embler hitting back at the top of the batting lineup now. Takes that first strike with 1 out here. And you're right, it is a simple routine play, referring back to the play that just happened. Perhaps not focused there, by Griffith. Hard to tell, but
so definitely puts a little bit of pressure on the Furman defense here now with a runner on, one away.
Sure does. The Squirrels will check Sigmund there on first. Passing it to Brandon Elmy. Does remain safe, though.
Quarles has been very concerned with the run game of the Spartans, as most of the Furman pitchers have been all weekend long.
Squirrels throws that first ball there, so now 1 ball, 1 strike up against Austin Embler. With a .395 average for the season. So these young players, Embler, Webster, as that will be an out, as we had Sigmund attempting to steal the base right there, but really good throw by the catcher, Jason Costa, for Furman, and that will be out number 2.
Yeah, and Sigmund didn't really get any help from his batter. That was a hit and run all the way, and Embler not able to make contact. Just not able to make contact there, and you'll see the swipe there. It looked like he was even safe. He definitely was safe. But still, Embler's got to protect the plate, got to get a piece of wood on that ball and keep his player from being in that situation. He just didn't do it there.
And that will be a strikeout right there. We'll end the inning. Caught Austin Embler looking, not swinging. So the score remains the same. UNCG unable to produce any runs here. 1-0 Furman. We'll be back after this.
1 and UNCG nothing. Get on your feet. The marketing team has
There's something in our souls that never sleeps. An ever-running engine that pushes us, compels us, makes us think 2 steps ahead, keeps us pushing, reflecting, inquiring, discovering. No matter who we are, where we come from, what we do, we all have one thing in common. We are driven.
Welcome back to UNCG Spartans versus the Furman Paladins, as the Spartans unable to produce any runs, as mentioned before, in the bottom of the 3rd, heading now into the top of the 4th. Furman still leading 1-0 off of that solo home run hit by Landon Kay earlier in the top of the 2nd. We will have the catcher leading things off, the top of the 4th for Furman, Jason Costa. Jason Costa's average for the season, .328.
Grounded out to short in that 2nd inning.
Lotes will throw very high. That will be ball number 1.
And Lotes has run into some trouble multiple times today, but ironically enough, the run on the scoreboard didn't come when he ran into trouble. So he's done a good job kind of battling through trouble spots, and he's already in a trouble spot here, down 2-0.
That was a ball that was throwing way outside, kind of out of the reach of Ryan Clinch's glove there. So throws again. That will be another hit towards Shelton. And a same exact way he got out before in the top of the 2nd. Out number 1 for the Spartans.
I'll break up Landon Kay, the guy who's found the only run on the scoreboard for the Paladins, one of 2 hits for this lineup as well. So he's really been the offense on paper.
And what's going through the mind of Dan Lotes right now if you're facing Landon Kay here, Scott?
I mean, I don't think he's concerned at all. I mean, it's tough enough to hit 1 home run. You really don't expect to hit 2. So you just got to attack, treat him like every other hitter, and just battle through it. Just work that count, work that pitch sequence away, just like he's doing here.
It will be the first strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. You make a really good point of treating him like any other hitter here. You don't want to, as a pitcher, fear any of the hitters and not want to pitch against him. You just got to keep your composure as he throws the second strike there. And
I think the only type of hitter you do that with is a guy like Brett Roker, who yesterday for Mississippi State hit 3 home runs in one single game. And with a hitter like that, maybe you do intentionally walk him, but not Landon Kay after one solo shot.
so now 2 balls, 2 strikes against Landon Kay here with a .324 average of this for the season. As mentioned before, the only scorer for the Furman so far is that will be ball 3, full count now. Those throws. Okay, we'll hit it behind him out of play. Still remains full count with 1 out.
About Brent Roker, 3 for 4 yesterday, 3 bombs in the win over Kentucky.
And that will be a strikeout right there. So really, really good start for Dan Lotes as he was able to. As we look at it once again, you just caught him looking, Scott.
Yeah, he kind of dropped it right in there high in the strike zone. Really didn't work him away there. And Kay probably wishes he would have at least touched that one.
As we will now have Sky Overton hitting for Furman this afternoon. He had a fly out to Ryan Sigmund's vicinity earlier in the top of the second. As he swings and misses right there, strike 2. 2 consecutive strikes coming from Dan Lotes here.
That's exactly where you want to be if you're Lotes, working away, finding that away spot again to Overton. It's really kept the hitters off balance so far today for Furman.
With no runners on base and with 2 outs, Dan Lotes perhaps heating up a little bit as Overton will hit that out of play down the line of right field. Those throws again. It will be inside. So that'll be the first ball there.
Well done here by Lotes, getting well ahead in the count, 1-2 with 2 away to Overton. And if he can get a 1-2-3 inning here and put his hitters back at the plate, he can maybe start getting some momentum going for the Spartans.
Overton will hit one right to Austin Emblew, makes a good play on it, throwing it to Michael Goss. Ending the inning there. Score remaining the same. Furman 1, UNCG 0. We'll be back to the bottom of the 4th after this.
As we enter the bottom half of inning number 4, our score, Furman 1 and UNCG 0. It's bow time. Don't forget to pick up a tailgate pack at the UNCG Bojangles and follow them on Twitter and Facebook for specials.
The road to Omaha begins in Greenville, South Carolina. The Southern Conference Baseball Tournament comes to Fluor Field May 23rd through 28th. Enjoy some great college baseball with a trip to the NCAA's on the line in a city the New York Times calls one of the top places to go in 2017. Get your tickets to the tournament and book your rooms in that Greenville today. Experience the games. Explore the city.
Some of the changes I've seen myself since I've been here at UNCG is just, I've been really challenged. I've been really encouraged to come out of my comfort zone.
As a professor, what I feel is most important is to find that passion.
Do you have this dream of doing something bigger for the world, but you don't know how to get there? This is the place where you go to figure it out.
Hello and welcome back to the 3rd game of the series this weekend. Furman versus UNCG here in the bottom of the 4th now. Furman unable to score any runs in the top of the 4th as Dan Lotes did some pretty good pitching as Ben Spitznagel left fielder for UNCG, will be leading things off this inning. And we'll turn it over to Scott to give some scores around the league.
Yeah, Mercer leading the conference at just one loss so far this year. They are up on Samford 2-0 in the bottom of the second, as that pitch is going to be through the right side and down for Ben Spitznagel to lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth, the leadoff single. VMI on top of Wofford 3-0 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, top of the third. This game, of course, underway. Western Carolina 1-0 on top of East Tennessee State in the bottom of the second frame. Some notable scores around the country. Of course, ACC games are huge on the docket. Number 5, North Carolina leads Boston College 11-1 in Chestnut Hill. Georgia Tech down to Notre Dame 6-4 in the bottom of the fourth. Wake Forest on top of number 2, Louisville 1-0. And NC State on top of number 22, Florida State 4-0 in the bottom of the second inning.
Squirrels throws that first strike there, or excuse me, first ball there. Ball number 1 against Andrew Moritz. He's batting .367 on the season, 20 RBIs. Squirrels throws again. Moritz will hit one towards center field and be right into the glove of the center fielder, Landon Kay.
And Spitznagel tagging up and running to second on that one. That's a really heads-up play there from Spitznagel. It was deep enough to advance. Tag up and run, and he did just that.
Sure is, as now we have Michael Goss, who had a double in the bottom of the second coming up. Definitely RBI situation here with one out, but definitely looking to get on the board for UNCG, as really good awareness by Spitznagel advancing to second. So runner on second, Michael Goss here. Once again with the double in the bottom of the second earlier. We're going to get UNCG on the board here. Quarles throws to second base and unable to get it or catch that, as Spitznagel will advance to third, is Sams Griffith.
That's the concern when you try to be extremely aggressive and try to work on base runners and getting them out. So you could do something like that and spike the ball. It almost like it hit Spitznagel on the back. Allowed him to advance to third on that. Yeah, it looks like it hit him on the back of the arm.
It sure did.
It's almost like he rushed it too quickly to Quarles to try to get around and throw it and just missed the target.
Right.
And now if you're Michael Goss, anything in the air to me, the right or center field will probably score Spitznagel as long as it's not super shallow.
Definitely scoring situation for the UNCG Spartans now. Spitznagel now on third. Quarles throws that first ball. Throws again. A little too low. Will be another ball here. And Quarles, we were just talking about how Quarles has been really good with checking the runners on the base, and now all of a sudden we have Spitznagel, him throwing a bad ball towards second, and Spitznagel advancing to third.
Yeah, it's something that if you're a little bit too over-concerned, sometimes it can get you in trouble, and I think that's exactly what happened there.
Goss will throw it in play above the glove of Jake Crawford. And Michael Goss will advance to second, as Spitznagel will score for the Spartans. The score is now tied 1-1.
Looks like the second baseman, Sims Griffith, is upset. Not really sure why. He came up yelling. Maybe he thought he had him. He definitely didn't. I don't know why he's angry. Maybe he got spiked. I'm not sure. Just a good piece of hitting right over the third baseman, Crawford's head. And let's see if maybe there's a sign of why Griffith is upset here on this replay. Oh, he did come off the bag. He might have been out there. That may be why he's upset. Goss did pop off the bag. Did he keep the tag down? That's the only thing in question.
Now Caleb Webster, the freshman, once again up to bat. as he will pop one towards left field, out of play.
Yeah, that's one of those ones, if it's fair, it's gone. Good cut on that one for Webster, just pulled it a little bit foul.
So that will count as one strike. Strike one. It's only one out. But after that double RBI by Goss, UNCG now tying. UNCG now tied with Furman. Squirrels will throw that first ball.
If you're Webster, you don't need to worry about cashing in on Goss. You got a good bit of protection behind you. Just put the ball in play, see what happens. If it scores, it scores, but you just got to keep the line moving. Get to Shelton.
Quarles throws to Webster, and that will be ball two, a little inside.
If you're Goss, you have to be aware of a tag situation. Maybe if it's deep enough in the right field, you can tag and go. Goss, not the swiftest of feet, but you still got to keep that option in your wheelhouse.
So 2-1 count for Quarles. So he throws again. Webster will hit one right in between third and second. And Goss is running, and he will get home as Caleb Webster continues to run towards second. And UNCG is now leading just like that, 2-1.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Webster, kind of lofted it into left field. Goss doing a good job of running the bases there. They forced the issue over at home plate, and Goss able to beat the throw out. Good relay, probably gets him, but you put the pressure on the infielder to execute it perfectly, and they did not. You see Crawford, it seemed like got the ball well in time there. You don't see the throw into home plate, but Goss able to slide in safely. Maybe we can get another replay where you see Crawford throwing as they're going to talk it over on the mound to see maybe if a good relay throw would have gotten him. Pitching coach Caleb Davis coming out to talk things over. No action in the bullpen right now for Furman, so probably no change, maybe just a long discussion. Advanced to second on an error. Muff, not sure which player Muff did at that point. Probably the catcher. Check that. Freshman just keeps getting it done, does Caleb Webster.
He sure does, Scott, with all his talents infield, playing against batters, and then right here showing his batting skills.
It's a good spot to be in if you're a freshman. You're not necessarily in the cleanup spot, but you bat right behind a guy that gets on base a good bit for a cleanup hitter in Michael Goss, and it sets the table very, very well for you, and he cashed in that situation.
Sure does, as we now move on to the shortstop, Trip Shelton, who is 0 for 1 so far. The fly out in the bottom of the second inning. So Quarles still here as the pitcher, as Shelton will hit one towards left center field, and that is out. That would be yet 2 more runs scored for the UNCG Spartans. Score is now 4-1 UNCG.
He just turned on that one. You knew that the ping of the bat that one was well out of here. That's an absolute shot there from Trip Shelton, and just about the same spot from Landon Kay in that second inning. That will be Shelton's first home run of the season. And he got all of that one.
So back-to-back runs now for UNCG, and after being down 0-1, they are now leading 4-1. Thanks to both the two players that stand right next to each other in the infield, Trip Shelton and Caleb Webster.
Yeah, as soon as Shelton made contact, you could see the look on the face of Quarles that he knew that one was going as well.
As now Cesar Trejo comes in, and Trejo will hit one out of play behind him, kind of 1 strike, 1 ball, 1 strike. Trejo grounded one out the bottom of the second earlier, 0 for 1 today.
We talked about it in his first start, or excuse me, his last start against the Spartans. As we wait for a pitch here, that Quarles gave up 2 home runs to LJ Kalawaya. It seems like the Spartans have found a little bit of that magic here. Another guy who found a little bit of magic against Quarles, first base coach Sean Geit. Does that look like it was foul? Sean Geit 1 for 1 against Quarles with a walk back in Quarles' freshman campaign in 2014.
Ryan Clinch.
Sure did look like it was foul, but the umpire saying it was fair, and it will be the second out.
It's one of those ones that just got a little bit of backspin on that baseline and kind of spun back in. It looked like it was going to spin out maybe, and it just didn't.
So now batting for UNCG, Ryan Clinch, the catcher. The 307 average for the season, 16 RBIs. As he will be caught looking for that first strike given by Quarles. As on deck would be the Grand Slam hitter yesterday, Ryan Sigmund.
It's actually a solo home run to tie it in that bottom of the 11th.
So 1 ball, 1 strike. Quarles throws again. Be a swing and a miss by Ryan Clinch. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
So far, 4 runs across here in this bottom of the 4th inning, and it's been a huge inning for UNCG. Started with the little base knock from Spitznagel.
That ball was out of the strike zone for sure. Really up high, almost hitting Ryan Clinch if he hadn't dodged. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that will end the inning now. However, UNCG able to produce 4 runs, now leading 4-1. We'll be back to the top of the 5th after this.
And no runners left on base. At the end of 4 full innings, our score, UNCG 4 and Furman 1. Fans, be sure to join us back here
Want a great way to help student athletes like myself? Look no further than Spiro's Ball. Spiro's Ball will take place April 19th, where you will have a chance to interact with UNCG student athletes while also participating in live auctions. But you don't have to attend the event to be involved. Bidding is now open on silent auction items including vacation getaways, concert tickets, tickets to sporting events, signed UNCG gear, UNCG fan experiences, restaurant packages, and much more. Just visit the Spiro's Ball silent auction bid page. All proceeds benefit student athletes like myself. So what are you waiting for?
And welcome back to the top of the 5th inning now. After a 4-run inning for the UNCG Spartans, who are now leading 4-1. And leading off to bat for the Furman Paladins in the top of the 5th will be Sims Griffith, second baseman, who's kind of upset with that play mentioned earlier with Michael Goss advancing to second.
Yeah, I think he maybe thought he got the tag down, and if he makes that out, it could be a much, much different inning for the Spartans. Certainly changed the tide in the 4th.
Definitely would have, as Dan Lowe throws that first ball way above the strike zone there. Amazing how one play can change everything. As Griffith will pop that up, and the pitcher, Dan Lotes, will catch that. So good play for him there. Out number 1 for UNCG.
Lutz did a really good job kind of settling in. He gave up a home run. Didn't really get rattled at all. Went out, out, out to end that inning. And then came back, issued a single and a walk to put runners on first and second, but got out of it easily with a pop fly as well and went 1-2-3 in the fourth. So done a really good job settling back in as Lutz.
Now we will have the shortstop for Furman, Dylan Love. He hit a single in the top of the third earlier, hitting that one out of play behind him, strike 1.
Other action, UNCG Athletics. Right now, UNCG up 2-1 against Mercer in softball. UNCG lost the first 2 games in that series, looking to salvage one, as Boz has already thrown 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. None that one wasn't earned, so Alicia Bazonsky in line for a win if UNCG is able to hold on that 2-1 lead.
Dan Lotz throw that first ball there. Ball 1, 2 strikes. Lotz throws again. A little outside that time. It's now 2 balls thrown by him. Lotz throws again. Inside, all of a sudden it's a full count. 3 consecutive balls thrown here.
This is a big pitch here for Lotz. Try to get out of the bottom half of this lineup unscathed, and he misses there.
And not the start the Spartans want, or after getting that first out. Not what Lotz wanted to do after starting off the 1-2 count.
I'm going to bring up Jake Crawford, a guy that's really struggled this year, and his batting average shows it. All season long, he's kind of really battled it. Right now, sits at 255, but he was a SoCon all-freshman team, all-tournament team honoree a year ago as a freshman. Furman's trying to tap into that potential here.
This Crawford will hit one directly behind him. Kind of strike 1 there. As we mentioned, Lotz kind of heating up here. 2 consecutive innings, not allowing any runs to be scored after that solo homer by Landon Kay. As Crawford will hit one right into the glove of Embler. And attempting for the double play there, as Shelton got that second out.
Yeah, that was executed perfectly for Embler to toss it over to Shelton to try to get 2. And I think the only difference was it was so deep in the hole that you really just couldn't turn to. I mean, look at that. Be able to turn, throw to short, and the exchange was just about perfect. That's about as close as you can get to getting that double play there.
It's one of those plays where you execute perfectly, just as we see Richards hit one above the glove of Austin Embler, down towards Andrew Moritz. Moritz throwing it back to Shelton, and now all of a sudden we have a runner on third for Furman. Furman.
This is not the part of the line. That's why you want to get that bottom half of the lineup out. That's why that walk hurts you, because you turn over the top half, they can do a little bit more damage. Grote 0 for 1 today, but he has shown signs in the series of being able to drive in some runs. You'll see that just shot into shallow right center. That's exactly what you want to do, just kind of loft in there, especially a leadoff guy with speed on the base paths. He did get picked off yesterday, did Richards.
Now Grote will hit one down third. Webster ready for that one, throws it to Michael Goss for the 3rd and final out. Again, Lotz not allowing any runs. Score remains the same, 4-1. We'll be back to the bottom of the 5th after this.
Human beings can be hungry anytime they please. Maybe you messed up and didn't eat enough lunch. Perhaps dinner is very far away. It doesn't matter. Come to Arby's and solve your hunger problems with dollar sliders, cookies, small-size fries, drinks, and shakes, each for $1 from 2 to 5 p.m., not a.m. Arby's, we have the meat.
And welcome back to the bottom of the 5th inning now. UNCG still leading 4-1 thanks to those 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 4th. Dan Lotes continuing to play well for the Spartans, not allowing any runs in the top of the 5th. Now leading off for the UNCG Spartans is Ryan Sigmund, right fielder who is 0 for 1 today. The strikeout in the bottom of the 3rd.
Sigmund, of course, hit that home run in the bottom of the 11th to tie it. Inning that eventually would lead to a UNCG walk-off Caleb Webster sac fly RBI to score Austin Embler, who stands on deck.
Squirrels throws, and Sigmund will hit that directly behind him as will be strike 1. And Scott mentioned earlier about nobody being in the bullpen for Furman, and still nobody is there after 4 runs given up by Quarles. Remains in the game. And
Furman, not a great bullpen, but they used Hawkins yesterday for 4 innings, and they used Billy Greenfield both days for an inning and 2/3. So maybe not as many options as you'd like. You've already got some tired arms.
Squirrels will throw that first ball inside too high. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. Squirrels throws again, and that will be a swing and a miss there for Sigmund. 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. We'll start that. Quarles is definitely needed now in the top of the 5th. Looking to go be successful against the UNCG Spartans, as that will be a strikeout. He caught Ryan Sigmund looking.
4th K of the day for Quarles. He now has back-to-back strikeouts to both clinch and Sigmund in the last of the 4th and the top of the 5th.
So now Austin Embler up to bat, and 0 for 2 today so far. Fly out to center, and then was caught looking at with a strikeout in the bottom of the 3rd. However, one of the more productive players for the Spartans, one of the younger players as well, a sophomore. He could probably get hot whenever, as we saw with Ryan Sigmund yesterday.
Yeah, one could argue that Austin Embler really doesn't ever not stay hot. He's been very, very good for the Spartans all season long. Keeps swinging that hot stick.
Sure does, as he hits that one out of play. Down 3rd base line right there, 2nd strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out for Quarles. And Embler will hit that behind him into the stands. So that will leave the count the same, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quarles throws again. Embler will pop 1 up, and that will be to Sam Griffith, the 2nd baseman for Furman. So not to start, of course, Embler wants not to start that Embler is used to, quite frankly, being 0 for 3 so far. As Spitznagel will be up to bat now with a single in the 4th, and he actually ended up scoring as well, one of those 4 runs for the Spartans.
Yeah, Spitznagel's single through the right side really got the party started an inning ago and led to a big, big inning for UNCG. An inning they saw 4 different Spartans come across home plate in Spitznagel, Goss, Webster, and Shelton, rounding it off with his 2-run home run.
that looked to be a little inside. However, Spitznagel did swing and got a little touch of the ball there. Strike one.
Spitznagel's path here to UNCG has been kind of a unique one. He started out in AIA, transferred to a JUCO school, which is not that common, and then transferred Division I, and everybody kind of doubted him each step of the way and just kind of hit enough to stick around, and he's turned into quite a career here in Greensboro.
That will be the second ball thrown by Quarles. Quarles throws again. That will be strike two. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And going back to what you were saying about Spitznagel, always kind of a roller coaster ride. It could be sometimes for players, especially in the collegiate level, transferring or being on different teams, of course. Of course, going to professional. It's always good when you find that one home that suits you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely been really good, and Link Jarrett, I can assume, is very happy that he found his home here in Greensboro and not somewhere else, because he's been a huge, huge factor on this team, and a team that led the country in batting average a year ago and right up there again this year.
Spitznagel will hit one infield to his third baseman, Jay Crawford, and that will end the inning. So no runners allowed and no runs scored for Quarles here, as the score remains the same, 4-1. We'll be back to the top of the 6th after this.
Furman 1.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Greensboro and Winston-Salem, it would be Jason Bramblett. He attracts hundreds of buyers and creates so much demand that Jason can guarantee if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, he will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Welcome back to the top of the 6th now, with Furman facing UNCG. UNCG leading 4-1, unable to get any runs in at the bottom of the 5th. Now leading off for the Paladins is Brandon Elmy. And his day consists of being 0 for 2, actually, with a strikeout in the first and a pop-up in the third. He is, of course, one of the more good productive players for Furman, with a .353 average and 21 RBIs. Being 0 for 2 today, definitely not the start he wants, as he hits one to Caleb Webster and will throw it to Michael Goss for the first out.
Yeah, that's part of the lineup that really hasn't been that productive for Furman after Jabari Richards has been on base twice. Between Grote, Elmy, and Costa, who's coming up right now, they haven't reached base at all, and it's been a big, big problem. Grote's been on as a walk, but other than that, nobody's able to make contact and get aboard, and between that trio of hitters, they've had 2 Ks between them, so not a great, great outlook if you're Furman. You want that part of your order to be productive, and they haven't been today.
We have now the catcher Jason Costa up for Furman, who is 0 for 2 today. They ground out both times to Caleb Webster, throwing to Michael Goss. As Lotes now throwing his third ball against Costa, with 1 out here. Those throws again, and that will be 4 consecutive balls, as Costa will advance to first.
The center fielder, number 44.
As you mentioned before, this is a spot of an order that's had trouble getting on base for Furman, but that could set the table for maybe Overton or K to drive him around, and they've had a little bit of a better shot, as K did have that home run back in the 2nd inning, the only run on the scoreboard right now for the Paladins.
Lotes will throw that first strike there against Landon K.
And other than issuing walks, Lotes has been extremely effective, giving up 4 walks, 3 hits. So he's been able to keep runners off the base pass via batted ball.
That will be the second strike now given by Lotes. Strike 2. So exactly where Lotes wants to be against the lone scorer for Furman this afternoon so far. Lotes throws again. A little too high. 1-2 count now.
This is a spot, maybe you can double him off as well. Costa not necessarily the swiftest of feet being a catcher, so it's a good spot here for Shelton to maybe flash some leather.
As K will hit one to right field, and Sigmund unable to come up with it. And runners will advance. That will be a double for Landon K, as well as Costa being able to advance to third. So just like that, 2 runners, 1 on second, 1 on third.
That's a bad play by Ryan Sigmund there. Didn't need to dive out for that one. If he just holds up, just stops the ball from advancing, you maybe have a first and second situation. Instead, you dive, try to be a hero in the 5th inning. Not really what you want to do, and that's going to cost him a couple bases for his team. That's not a smart play in the outfield. And Link Jarrett will come out to talk things over with his pitcher. More than likely, Sigmund probably could have gotten there if he took a better route. He kind of had a bad jump and just compounded it by trying to dive. And when you dive in a situation like that, that ball could go all the way back to the wall. It didn't, but it very, very well could have, and that could have been even worse. So probably would have scored a run and maybe been an inside-the-park home run. Got to be more careful if you're Sigmund, especially with the lead. You got to protect the lead, not necessarily worry about making a hero play. Got some pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Not sure who exactly, but there's starting to get a little bit more intense down in that right field pen. The UNCG bullpen. There's 2 guys warming up. And it is Wance and Sova, 2 of the guys of the workhorse out of the bullpen. Getting loose. Wance is probably the option. Sova's probably a backup.
So with 1 out, a little talk from head coach Link Jarrett. 2 runners in second and third. Lotes looking to, in essence, rebound. Of course, the mistake mostly from Sigmund, as Scott mentioned, being in a pretty bad angle, running towards the ball, as Overton will hit that now to Spitznagel's way, and runner will score for Furman, now a 4-2 ball game.
Now batting for Furman.
Put runners on at first and third again. Just kind of trade the situation for the next batter. Another RBI spot for Sims, and Sims 0 for 2 today.
So we take a look at this replay once again. Nice ball thrown or hit into right field, and Furman able to score off of that. Now 4-2 with runners on first and third as well. We'll take a bunt right here by Griffith, and Furman will score again.
And that's just miscommunication there as Goss came in to make the play at home. And that was not the call for the pitcher. The pitcher wanted to go to first and nobody covering as Goss came up. And maybe even Embler could have rotated over. Not sure what the exact responsibilities were, but nobody really made a decision to cover first. I think it might have been Embler. Didn't make the move to go to first, so just not a well-executed bunt play for UNCG. Bunt single there for Sims.
Now the shortstop Dylan Love up to bat here, being 1 for 1 today on a single in the third, and then walking in the 5th.
He's pitched so well, and now he's in a situation where he's in a good bit of trouble, and Furman could take the lead here in the 5th inning.
With a runner on first and second.
Excuse me, the 6th inning. A little bit behind there.
Lutz will throw his first strike against Love.
Love's a guy that's really got things done for Furman. He's got a single in the 3rd, and he walked an inning ago back in the 5th. Not necessarily easy out here in the 8th spot.
Love will kind of tip that ball. That will count as a strike. Strike 2. Still with 1 out. 2 consecutive plays involving scores for Furman has now made it a 4-3 ball game. Lutz throws again. And he will indeed catch Love, looking for a strikeout and out number 2.
Yeah, Love kind of swung through that one kind of half-heartedly, didn't really see it all the way. Able to get the strikeout there for Lotz. Good job there, and he's got to get through the 9-hole hitter here to get out of the inning and go to the top of the 7th, just surrendering 3 runs, maybe handing over the bullpen. Got to think this is probably the last hitter Lotz will face regardless.
Lutz will throw one a little low. It'll be ball number 1. Against the 3rd baseman, Jake Crawford for Furman, who is 1 for 2 today with fly out in the 4th and a single in the 5th. Lutz will throw the first strike there, 1-1.
Yeah, Lutz is doing what made him successful in those early innings and just working that away pitch to these right-handed hitters. Imagine Crawford's going to get that spot time and time again this at-bat.
Lutz throws, and Crawford will hit that out of play towards right field.
Now ahead in the count 1-2. Lutz has kind of got everything in his arsenal here. He can work away. He can go try to reach back and give it all he's got here, but this has got to be his last couple of pitches here, so nothing left to leave on the table. He's got to attack, attack, attack.
And with 2 outs, that's exactly what he needs to do to get UNCG and their batters up once again in position to perhaps extend their lead. As Crawford hits that out of play once again towards right field.
Yeah, he reached on that outside corner, tried to pull it around, get his hands over it, but good job there by Lutz to keep it out of his reach. He's working that outside corner.
Lutz throws, and Crawford will hit that towards right field. Ryan Sigmund running towards the ball, and that will be out of play.
Yeah, good jump there by Sigmund. If that one stayed in fair territory, he was going to be able to get there in time. So trying to make up for it. As you see a happy kid for his foul ball. He's pumped, and he falls straight down. That's how you celebrate, ladies and gentlemen. You just take a nosedive straight to the ground. Your excitement is so happy that you can't even stay on your feet anymore.
So with a 1-2 count, Crawford hits it right into the glove of, well, he took a rounder towards Michael Goss. Michael Goss will tag him out there. So 2 runs being given up by Lutz. Score is now 4-3 UNCG. We're back to the bottom of the 6th after this.
Have scored.
Add big flavor to your next get-together with Subway Catering, featuring good-to-go boxed meals with a side and freshly baked cookie, crowd-pleasing giant subs, and piled-high sandwich platters overflowing with flavorific choices. All made the way you say with everything you love, like jalapenos and Chipotle Southwest sauce. Subway Catering is simple and satisfying, a great value for any budget. Just call 877-360-CATER or visit Subway.com and let us take care of any occasion. Subway, cater fresh.
Welcome back to the bottom of the sixth here. UNCG gave it up 2 runs on the top of the sixth. Now the score being 4-3, and leading things off for UNCG here is Andrew Moritz with a 370 average. Definitely one of the leaders of this team, and just as a sophomore as well.
Yeah, he's definitely the heartbeat of this team. He's got a little bit of speed and pop. Going to get things started. Defensively, he's one of the better center fielders in this league. Really one of the better players all up and down the Southern Conference, and he's really made his mark here as a sophomore. Hasn't hit that sophomore slump that we hear about so often. He's really been very, very good and consistent all year long for the Spartans. Just missed 1 game all year. So he's been in the lineup every single day.
That is something Coach Link Jarrett really loves to have, consistency. Can't stress it enough as a head coach. Today, however, he's been 0 for 2 with a ground out in the first and a fly out in the fourth. Gonna bounce back here, taking that first strike by Quarles. Quarles will throw that first ball, and we now see some movement in the bullpen for Furman. So perhaps Quarles may be done in this top of the, or excuse me, in the bottom of the 7th. Someone may relieve him here. So he will throw the second ball. 2 balls, 1 strike for Andrew Moritz. That will be the 3rd ball. 3 balls now. So we will have Michael Goss on deck after hitting up after Andrew Moritz today, and Moritz will hit that ball right across the glove, a grounder right next to Sam's Griffith. Good single for Moritz. He is now 1 for 3 for the day. Now, as mentioned earlier, Michael Goss is now up to bat with 2 singles, 2 for 2 today, or excuse me, 2 doubles, 1 in the bottom of the 2nd and 1 in the 4th.
Yeah, he singled down the left center and down the left field line an inning ago. That drove in Spitznagel to increase, or his last time up, to increase that lead out to 3-1. Now that lead stands at 4-3 after a 2-run top of the 6th for the Paladins.
Quarles will look to first. Of course, not wanting to make that same mistake he made towards second base earlier in the game. That will be the first strike thrown against Michael Goss. We see Quarles throw again to first base, ensuring Moritz does not advance to second. We've been kind of talking about that all day, Scott, as far as Quarles looking, as we see it once again. And his kind of paranoia actually didn't pay off for him before, trying to get the runner on second, and was not able to before.
Yeah, in a close game like this, you want to definitely make sure you tighten it up, keep those runners at bay. You don't want to add to that lead on maybe a first to third. You want to keep them a little bit closer to first, so they can't advance all the way to third on maybe a single. Everything kind of gets amplified as you get down to these final couple of innings.
So he throws the first ball here, so 1 ball, 1 strike now. Throws again. Michael Goss will hit it towards center field. And that is at least a double as we see Moritz rounding off to home plate. And he will. Score is now 5-3 UNCG.
And Goss said, I've got 2 doubles. Why not cash in on a triple? Good job there. Good base running there by Goss to get all the way to third on the play.
Number 1, Caleb Webster.
We now have the freshman once again, Caleb Webster, up to bat, as he is 1 for 2 today with a double in the bottom of the 4th, and also was able to be responsible for 1 of the 5 runs scored.
And they went to the deepest part of the park off the wall for a triple. Good piece of hitting there by Michael Goss.
As Michael Goss is indeed on third base now, looking to score, as Webster will hit one towards left center, and that is good.
That'll be 3-2 for Webster as well.
That will. Michael Goss kind of jogs to home plate, not really needing to run there. And wow, Scott, the freshman just does not cease to amaze us.
He's been doing really, really good work for UNCG. They do it once again. And UNCG right up there nationally in triples. That'll be the 26th triple for UNCG this year. That's quite a few, and Moritz leads the team with 6, but now Webster with his 3rd and Goss with his 2nd. So back-to-back triples for UNCG, and those 2 runs Furman scored erased real quick.
Now we see a long conversation between Jason Costa and Quarles here, Matthew Quarles. Quarles now 6 runs given up in this game. Now pitching almost 7 full innings here. Excuse me.
Not a whole lot of action in the Furman pen, just kind of toss and throw right now, nothing serious. So this could be Quarles' inning to attack.
One ball thrown there by Quarles as Trip Shelton being 1 for 2 today with the solo. He hit one out of the park earlier today in the bottom of the 4th. And, of course, helping the UNCG Spartans take that lead down when they scored 4 in that 4th inning. As that will be the 2nd ball thrown. 2 balls, 1 strike. Just to remind you guys that Caleb Webster is on 3rd right now after 2 back-to-back triples, one by Michael Goss, who actually scored thanks to Caleb Webster. And then now Caleb Webster on 3rd base. Trip Shelton will hit one up high into left center field, and that time it will be an out. However, Webster able to score, as that will now be a 7-3 lead for UNCG.
Good piece of hitting there by Shelton, kind of took it, drove it, and will allow Shelton, able to allow Webster to score on the sac fly RBI.
As Cesar Trejo now looking to really heat things up, as he is 0 for 2 today with 2 ground outs in the 2nd and in the 4th. Of course, looking to just contribute to this 7-3 lead that the Spartans now have.
Yeah, UNCG's got great production out of their lineup from 2 through 6. 7, 8, 9 haven't gotten a hit, and number 1, Austin Nimbler, hasn't gotten a hit either. So let's see if UNCG can get maybe some back half production here.
Trejo hits that behind him towards the net. Strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. So with only 1 out, UNCG able to extend their lead by 4 now, leading 7-3.
It's so important after a team goes out and puts runs on the scoreboard in the top half or the bottom half that you come out and answer right back. UNCG has done just that. Furman scored 2 in the top of the 6. UNCG's already scored 3, so they've already out-produced Furman here in this bottom half of the 6th.
Quarles throws again, and that is too high. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes up against Cesar Trejo. Trejo will hit that, and it is a good hit past, grounding it out towards Dylan Love's vicinity, the shortstop there. And able to get that, and that is a good single for Trejo.
Yeah, good piece of hit and poked it through that left side and able to stand on first after the hit. So 0 for 2, now 1 for 3. So good piece of hit in there by Trejo to get off the 0 for mark. So we might have a pitching change here as Quarles' day is finally done. We'll take a break right with him. We'll get you the new relief pitcher in just a moment. You're watching UNCG Baseball on the SoCon Digital Network.
There's something in our souls that never sleeps. An ever-running engine that pushes us, compels us, makes us think 2 steps ahead, keeps us pushing, reflecting, inquiring, discovering. No matter who we are, where we come from, what we do, we all have one thing in common. We are driven.
And welcome back to this bottom of the 6th inning where UNCG has produced 3 runs now, thanks to the likes of Michael Goss and Caleb Webster as well, and Trip Shelton with that sacrifice fly towards the left field. As now we have a pitcher change for Furman as Matthew Quarles will be done for the day. Will Dvorak, the senior right-handed pitcher for Furman, will come in relief for Quarles this afternoon.
A couple of numbers on Will Dvorak. He is a right-handed option out of the bullpen for Furman. He has a 2.08 ERA in 4 appearances, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 1 run. That run was earned, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. He has given up 2 doubles and a .315 batting average against.
For UNCG, now batting is Ryan Clinch, the catcher for UNCG. 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th. Looking to follow Trejo's path here and make 1 for 3. But he does not, as he hits that right under the glove of Will Dvorak. So they'll be out number 2 for the Spartans this afternoon, and good start for the Will Dvorak.
Yeah, it was a little slow tapper back to Dvorak. He seemed to have a little bit of trouble kind of scooping it up, but he's able to rebound and throw over to first in time. Clinch did make it a little bit tougher. He's got a little bit of speed, more so than most catchers.
And now Ryan Sigmund up the bat, being 0 for 2 today with, once again, 2 strikeouts, 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 5th.
The way Ryan spells his name, it leads you to wonder maybe he's named after Ryan Sandberg, a legend in Major League Baseball circles, played for both the Cubs and the Phillies, and was a member of many, many All-Star teams and won the MVP in 1983 for the Cubbies. That's how you execute a hit and run as Sigmund lofts that into right center field. Could be extra bases. It'll easily score Trejo. And Sigmund rounding second and headed for third. It'll be the 3rd triple of the inning. Sliding in safe is Sigmund.
Exactly what UNCG wanted out of Ryan Sigmund today, being 0 for 2. Now 1 for 3. The score is now 8-3 UNCG up against Furman. Now leading by 5 runs. With, as Scott mentioned, the 3rd triple now of the day for UNCG. And, wow, if you're Coach Ling Jarrett, you got to love that.
Yeah, they've all come in this inning. You've seen Goss hit a triple. You've seen Caleb Webster hit a triple. And now you see a perfectly hit triple there from Ryan Sigmund. You talk about his struggles in the back half of that lineup, and back-to-back days he's got extra base hits, a home run yesterday, now a triple here, so maybe he's starting to heat up a little bit in that 9 spot.
Now Austin Embler being 0 for 3 today, of course looking to contribute as we had 3 consecutive hitters that were 0 for 2 now, contributing and scoring for the UNCG Spartans. Austin Embler, I'm sure, has that in mind as he now with a 1 ball, 1 strike count and with 2 outs. As that will be hit outside of play. Behind him, strike 2.
Embler just one of 2 hitters in this UNCG lineup without a hit. Both him and Clinch 0 for 3 today, so he's looking to get off the schneid here.
And Embler will hit that into the glove of Dylan Love, who will make the play for the final out. However, UNCG able to score 4 runs here. Scores now 8-3 UNCG. We'll be back to the top of the 7th after this.
The road to Omaha begins in Greenville, South Carolina. The Southern Conference Baseball Tournament comes to Fluor Field May 23rd through 28th. Enjoy some great college baseball with a trip to the NCAA's on the line in a city the New York Times calls one of the top places to go in 2017. Get your tickets to the tournament and book your rooms in that Greenville today. Experience the games. Explore the city.
Some of the changes I've seen myself since I've been here at UNCG is just, I've been really challenged. I've been really encouraged to come out of my comfort zone.
As a professor, what I feel is most important is to find that passion.
Do you have this dream of doing something bigger for the world, but you don't know how to get there? This is the place where you go to figure it out.
Welcome back to the top of the 7th inning with UNCG now leading the Furman Paladins 8-3. 4 runs scored in the bottom of the 6th as we now have a pitching change with Dan Lodes being done for the day. Andrew Wentz coming in to relieve him.
Andrew Wentz, a 5.02 ERA, 5-2 in 14 appearances. He has been a part of a shutout. He's had 3 saves on the season. 37 and 2/3 innings pitched, 28 hits allowed, 21 runs allowed, all of those earned, 17 walks, 43 strikeouts, 7 doubles allowed, 1 triple, and 5 home runs. That's kind of been the undoing of Wentz, but opponents are batting just .215 against the right-handed option. The final line on Load, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 runs, all of those earned, 4 walks, 4 Ks, 27 batters faced, 1 double, 1 home run, 4 flyouts, 9 groundouts, 92 pitches, 58 for strikes, and 15 first pitch strikes.
As for the Paladins, Jabari Richards is up to bat, and he is 1 for 2 today, with the exception of him being walked in the first inning, which is Dan Lotes' first outing against Furman. Run it out in the 3rd and hit a single in the 5th. Very, very important for the Furman Paladins. As yesterday, as mentioned yesterday, he was responsible for getting a triple right off the bat, and as well as scoring for the Paladins yesterday. Now 2 balls, 1 strike against him, given by Andrew Wentz.
Wentz has already thrown in this series. He went 2 innings pitched on Friday, gave up 1 hit. That 1 hit was a solo shot from Brandon Elmy, and he will be due up in the 3rd spot here in this top of the 7th.
As Wentz will throw that 4th ball, enabling Richards to walk to first base now.
It's not what you want to do if you're Andrew Wentz. You got a lot of speed now at first base, and leadoff hitter aboard could be troublesome. You don't want to walk that leadoff hitter because they can do a lot more things on the base pass, and puts a little bit of strain on you here, especially coming in relief. You want to come in, pump strikes, and That's not what Wentz did to the first batter he faced in Jabari Richards.
As Carter Grote now will come in, the left fielder for the Furman Paladins. Him being 0 for 2 today, strikeout in the first, and then a ground out in the fifth. We'll take that first strike from Wentz. We'll take the second one now, so strike 2.
That's exactly what you want to do if you're Wentz after issuing a walk. You want to just pound that strike zone, force the issue. Carter Grote now having to choke up on that bat a little bit and protect the plate.
Wentz throws again, a little outside of the corner in that strike zone there. We ball 1, 1-2 count. Grote will hit that into the glove of Shelton to Embler. Attempting to get that double play there. Does not, however, will be the first out.
And they're going to call an out on a double play.
They will.
They said Richards slid out of the base pass for base runner interference. Daniel Lamont Walker getting a workout here. He's got base runner interference and batter interference so far this season. See the put out here as he turns, and you don't see it. He did kind of slide out of the base pass and take out Embler. That's a good call. It's a good call. He hit the bag and then slid off the bag. Double play there for UNCG. Embler kind of took the brunt of that pain there.
So now with 2 outs for UNCG, thanks to that double play there, Brandon Elmy will be up to bat. Him being 0 for 3 today, so definitely somebody that Andrew Wentz wants to close the inning with today, as Brandon Elmy was struck out in the first inning, popped one up in the third, and then grounded one out in the sixth.
You see head coach for Furman kind of talking things over and disagreeing with the call, but it's the right call. He was out of the base path, and he slid into Embler, and for some reason the umpire's explaining his decision to the third base coach, which has no right to hear the decision at all. It's basically the decision between the umpire and the head coach. So the third base coach should really get back into his box instead of having a discussion with the umpire. It's really not his job.
Wentz throws will be a first strike against Brandon Elmy. Caught Brandon Elmy looking there.
It's Greg Howard down at third base. Steve Saunders at first for the umpire crew.
And Elmy will hit that ball behind him. Out of play, strike 2. So definitely a position, if you're Andrew Wentz, that you want to be in, right, Scott?
Yeah, up to 0-2 here. You can kind of work any pitch you want. See if you can get him to chase. And he popped him up there. Perfect pitch.
As we see Trip Shelton get under that, and that will end the inning there. So no runs allowed by Andrew Wentz in the top of the 7th. Score is still 8-3 UNCG. We'll be back to the bottom of the 7th after this.
Want a great way to help student athletes like myself? Look no further than Spiro's Ball. Spiro's Ball will take place April 19th, where you will have a chance to interact with UNCG student athletes while also participating in live auctions. But you don't have to attend the event to be involved. Bidding is now open on silent auction items including vacation getaways, concert tickets, tickets to sporting events, signed UNCG gear, UNCG fan experiences, restaurant packages, and much more. Just visit the Spiro's Ball silent auction bid page. All proceeds benefit student athletes like myself. So what are you waiting for?
Welcome back to the bottom of the 7th inning now with the score 8-3. Furman unable to get any runs scored in the top of the 7th now. As leading off for the UNCG Spartans is Ben Spitznagel, who is 1 for 3 today with a single in the 4th. And 2 pop-ups, 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 5th.
He made that single count, though, as it really started that rally in that 4-run, fourth inning for UNCG that pushed that lead that was shrunk down to 1 back out to where it is at 8-3 now. He was the only hitter not to hit an inning ago in that 4-run 6th frame.
Will Dvorak throws that first ball against Spitznagel. Ball 1. Dvorak throws again into the ground. That'll be ball 2.
An update on those SoCon scores around the league. Top seeded right now, Mercer 5-1 over Samford. Wofford VMI tied at 3 apiece, bottom of the 6th. And Western Carolina on top of ETSU 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th frame.
The third consecutive ball has now been thrown by Dvorak. He throws again now. That will be the first strike there. So 3-1 count, leading 8-3. Spitznagel being 1 for 3 today. However, as mentioned before, hitting that single in the 4th, starting things off, will now take a walk.
Good patient at bat there by Spitznagel. Didn't force anything, and now he's standing over at first base. Another notable score around the area. NC State on top of number 22 Florida State. That game being played in Raleigh 7-2 in the top of the 6th. So that could be a big, big win for NC State over the mighty, mighty Seminoles.
So Andrew Morris will be up to bat, the center fielder for UNCG. Takes that first strike, being 1 for 3 today. Has that single in the 6th also contributed to UNCG's 4-run lead there, as we have Spitznagel advance to second.
It's a good stolen base there by Spitznagel. Got a great jump and able to just drive through it. No real chance of getting him out. Did Costa have. For UNCG, you can take all the runs you get. You can be a little bit more aggressive on the base pass with that 5-run lead.
So 1 ball, 1 strike up against Moritz. Spitznagel now on second.
And if you're Furman, you're not really going to do a even more so. You're not going to focus in on stopping the runners on the base pass right now. You're just trying to worry about getting outs, get to the bottom half. So it's kind of an easy one for each team to kind of concede and go get.
Dvorak will throw that 3rd ball. 3 balls, 1 strike against Moritz here. That will be a strike, full count. On deck, Michael Goss, first baseman for UNCG. 3 for 3 today. Very, very productive for the Spartans.
Another score that many people are interested in. The Masters leader right now, Sergio Garcia, 7 under through 1 here in the final round.
Morris will hit that out of play into the hands of one of the fans here, it seems.
Yeah, Crawford doing a good job selling out there. Almost goes over the top bar over there into the dugout. That would have been quite a painful fall, but able to stay in play.
So full count here for Andrew Moritz, with Spitznagel waiting patiently on second, however, with 0 outs. So as said all afternoon, definitely an RBI situation with a hitter such as Moritz, of course. Dvorak looking to throw That will be the the fourth and final ball as Moritz will walk to first. So now 2 runners, 1 on first, 1 on second, with the 3-for-3. One of the good leaders on this UNCG team, Michael Goss, out here today. Now batting up against Dvorak as there will be a little meeting now around the pitcher's mound. Little may be the incorrect word here in this situation, as assistant coaches, head coach, and some players gather around Will Dvorak here.
The message has got to be pretty simple. Just jam up that zone. Don't necessarily worry about
Human beings can be hungry anytime they please. Maybe you messed up and didn't eat enough lunch. Perhaps dinner is very far away. It doesn't matter. Come to Arby's and solve your hunger problems with dollar sliders, cookies, small-size fries, drinks, and shakes, each for $1 from 2 to 5 p.m., not a.m. Arby's, we have the meat.
New pitcher on for Furman, number 34, Caden Harwood. Harwood on the year. Let's see a quick look at his numbers. A 2.25 ERA, 4 appearances, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs. That run was earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. He has given up a home run, and opponents are batting .286 against the left-handed option, but not a bad choice when UNCG's faced a lot of righties today. Maybe switch up the view and see if that does anything to these UNCG hitters that have been red hot today, including Michael Goss, who has 2 doubles and a triple to his name. Goss on the series has 7 hits. One might say he may as well be up for the SoCon Player of the Week award that they award at the end of each week coming around Monday. I'd be on the lookout for that one. I think he has a good shot, just as good as anybody right now. A couple of extra base hits and RBIs sprinkled through there. That pitch will be outside, 2-0 to Goss. One of Goss's former teammates in action, starting tomorrow at the Greensboro Grasshoppers. Colin Woody coming back into town with the Delmarva Shorebirds. Make sure to get your tickets to check out Woody back in town. The single-A affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles. That pitch will be poked foul and out of play to Goss. We'll be working on a feature on Woody. Be sure to check that out. We'll be sitting down and have a chat with him pregame tomorrow before this contest against the Hoppers. So make sure to check that out. We'll keep you posted on social media on when that story will be released. Pitch will be in there for strike 2, so 2-2 count here to Goss. Goss will dig back in, looking to add to his 3-hit total today. And that won't do it as it's a line out to the second baseman, Griffith, for out number 1 here in the 7th inning.
Number 1, Caleb Webster.
See a replay here and just sharply lined. Good reaction time there by Griffith to secure the out.
We have now Caleb Webster up to bat, being 2 for 3 today. Responsible for one of the scores, hitting a triple in the 6th and a double in the 4th. With 2 runners on the 2nd and 3rd, Webster will hit one, and that is another RBI for him. That was a single RBI for him.
Yeah, so far Webster 3 for 4 today, and he went 0 for in game 1 of the series, but just rebounded quite well. Of course, yesterday he went 1 for 5. He did have that RBI to win the game on the sac fly.
And with Spitznagel getting home, the score is now 9-3 UNCG. Quite frankly, UNCG just seems to be feeling it now as we get into the 3, 4, 5, and even 6 sequence over here in the batting lineup. Both Moritz, Goss, with the exception of him, just probably went out. And Webster and Shelton have been very productive for the Spartans and just increasing that lead. As said earlier, it's now 9-3.
And more information on that Hoppers game featuring Colin Woody. The game times are 7 p.m. on Monday, 7 p.m. on Tuesday, and 12 noon on Wednesday.
Shelton will take that strike from, look to be a strike.
Ward's taking that lead. Over at third base, he has a stolen base to help him get to second. Advanced on the single from Caleb Webster. Spitznagel with 2 steals in the inning to get home on that Webster single.
And we have Webster advanced to second, so now a runner on second and third.
So 4 steals in the inning for UNCG here as Webster now gets his first collegiate stolen base there.
As Howard will throw that a little to the outside. Ball 3, 3 consecutive balls. That will be strike 1.
Yeah, and Greg Smith hooking it up in the press box with some cheddar brats, passing them around. Man, that guy's like the candy man around here, just passing out goodies out left and right.
Shelton will hit it towards right field. And that will be an out. Nobody will advance, so good heads-up play by Jabari Richards there. And the catcher, Jason Costa, being prepared for it as well. So still with Moritz and Webster. Webster being on second, Moritz being on third here. Moritz looking to score with 2 outs. Cesar Trejo comes up to bat for the Spartans. And he is 1 for 3 today. As grounded 2 outs, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, and hit a single in the 6th and was part of scoring as well.
Looks like we're going to have a pitching change here, so we'll take a quick break as we'll get you new stats on the pitcher when we get back. You're watching UNCG Baseball on the SoCon Digital Network.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, You need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Greensboro and Winston-Salem, it would be Jason Bramblett. He attracts hundreds of buyers and creates so much demand that Jason can guarantee if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, he will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
And welcome back once again to the bottom of the 7th inning. UNCG so far scoring 1 run with 2 outs here. Cesar Trejo once again up to bat, and we will have a pitching change now. Tyler Kimbrell is in for the Furman Paladins in relief of Caton Harwood.
Kimbrell, a junior out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. He is the son of Mike and Sydney Kimbrell. His dad, Mike, played college baseball at Clemson from 1988 to 1991, so a little bit of baseball pedigree in his background, but some stats on Kimbrell. He's made 2 appearances, 13.50 ERA, 1 1/3 innings work, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 doubles, and opponents are batting .375 against the right-handed option as Trejo steps into the dish.
So with 2 outs, Kimbrell looking to close out this inning and not allow any more runs to be scored here. The Paladins have really fallen behind, 9-3. Kimbrell will throw that first ball. The Trejo part of the 4 runs being scored back in the bottom of the 6th. He was 0 for 2 in that inning before hitting that single and then made his way around the diamond, heading back home. Increasing that score for the Spartans, which is once again 9-3. Take that second ball by Kimbrell here. And that will be ball 3. So a little above the strike zone here. 3 balls and 0 strikes. With 2 outs, with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Caleb Webster being on 2nd, Moritz being on 3rd. That will be a swing and a miss there for the first strike. So now a 3-1 count for Cesar Trejo, looking to expand the lead for UNCG. He is 1 for 3 once again today. Hit that out of play behind him. Full count with 2 outs. Kimbrell throws. That will be a hit by Trejo, but it will be an out as well. UNCG scoring 1 more run in the bottom of the 7th, score now 9-3. We'll be back to the top of the 8th inning after this.
To your next get-together with Subway Catering, featuring good-to-go boxed meals with a side and freshly baked cookie, crowd-pleasing giant subs, and piled-high sandwich platters overflowing with flavorific choices. All made the way you say with everything you love, like jalapenos and chipotle Southwest sauce. Subway Catering is simple and satisfying, a great value for any budget. Just call 877-360-CATER or visit Subway.com and let us take care of any occasion. Subway, cater fresh.
Welcome back to the top of the 8th inning now, with UNCG able to expand their lead by 1, now it being a 9-3 ball game. We have Andrew Wentz still in pitching. Seems like we haven't seen him for a while. But score once again 9-3, and leading things off for the Furman Paladins will be the catcher, Jason Costa. And he is, as far as hitting, 0 for 2 with the exception of a walk in the 6th.
And UNCG looking for its first SoCon sweep since April 24th, 2016, so almost a full year. They swept ETSU that day here at UNCG Baseball Stadium and went 6-5 on Friday night, 13-6 on Saturday, and 9-7 on Sunday to earn the sweep.
Wentz will throw that first strike there for Costa. Throws again. Costa will hit one into left center field. Andrew Moritz chasing it, as he will allow Ben Spitznagel calling it good communication skills there. That will be the first out for the Spartans.
Yeah, you can clearly tell Moritz lost that one in the sunlight. Spitznagel able to come over and back him up as he tracked that ball all the way into his glove. Well done there, and good luck for the Spartans, as that one kind of hung up there well too long for it to get down before Spitznagel was get over there to snag it.
And now landing K pops one up near Michael Goss's vicinity, and Michael Goss will not allow the sun to deter him from that catch. And that will be the second consecutive out there.
Good job here by Waynes in his second inning of work. Trying to look for maybe get that 3-inning save. Those rare 3-inning saves, and Waynes is accustomed to them as he tends to work a little bit longer than most relievers, a kind of a middle relief guy. Pitched 2 innings on Friday. Has shown he can really go long into games, and if he goes 3, he'd earn that save.
So we now have the designated hitter, Sky Overton, for the Paladins. Now 1 for 3 today. They single in the 6th. We'll take that first strike now. 1 ball, 1 strike. And with 2 outs here, trailing 9-3. So Overton will hit that out of play down third base line. If you're the Paladins, you got to be thinking, we really have to start executing here in the top of the 8th inning. Wentz throws again, and that will be a swing and a miss and strikeout. Will be the third and final out. UNCG not allowing any runs scored here. Still is 9-3 UNCG. We'll be back to the bottom of the 8th after this.
9 and Furman 3.
There's something in our souls that never sleeps. An ever-running engine that pushes us, compels us, makes us think 2 steps ahead, keeps us pushing, reflecting, inquiring, discovering. No matter who we are, where we come from, what we do, we all have one thing in common. We are driven.
And welcome back to the bottom of the 8th inning now. UNCG not allowing any runs in the top of the 8th to the Furman Paladins. Still leading 9-3. As for the Spartans, the catcher for them, Ryan Clinch, will be up to bat here. He has been 0 for 3 today, but we have been seeing some players be 0 for 3, 0 for 2, and then end up actually scoring for the Spartans today, as well as just yesterday, and remembering Ryan Sigmund's 0 for 4 battle and then being 1 for 5, scoring that solo home run.
And UNCG with 2 guys with offers coming up in this inning in both Clinch and Imbler. A chance to kind of get off that schneid.
1 ball, 1 strike here. Thrown by Tyler Kimbrell will be the 2nd ball now. So 2 balls, 1 strike.
And if you're Furman, you're obviously deep in your bullpen. Maybe see if Kimbrell can give you something maybe in a more important situation down the road. You're just trying to piece together this one and get home at this point. Maybe try to see if you can keep it close to get your offense a chance. But right now, behind 3-1, not looking like Kimbrell's up for the task right now.
So 3 balls, 1 strike. Kimbrell throws again. That will be a strike. Full count now.
That was a good pitch there. Kind of touched the outside corner. Well-placed pitch there from Kimbrell.
Kimbrell throws again. Clinch will hit that into left center field, as that will be caught by Carter Grote, the left fielder, for the first out.
That one just kind of hung up there way too long to get a hit. He kind of needed to keep that one down. Didn't. An easy out and left by Carter Grote.
Now Ryan Sigmund comes up, the right fielder for UNCG, today with a triple in the 6th, responsible for part of the 4 runs scored in that 6th as well. As I mentioned yesterday, once again, the player who scored the home run after starting 0 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah, Sigmund with a huge at-bat yesterday, and he's done well today. He reached on an error back in the 3rd and got around an inning ago and was left stranded at 3rd, but really, really good performance here by Sigmund.
So 1 ball, 1 strike. Kimbrell throws again, and that will be ball 2.
The middle of the lineup really produced well today for UNCG as that pitch catches that corner to make it 2-2. Goss and Webster combined 6 for 8. That's a huge number in that 4-5 spot. Really kind of set the tone offensively all afternoon long. The freshman and senior paired together, creating a big, big offensive outburst for UNCG.
Kimbrell will throw, and that will be a strikeout there. To be a little low, but it was indeed a strikeout for out number 2.
Second strikeout looking for Sigmund. Not necessarily the best approach to that at bat. Didn't really fight that one off at all. And we're looking to end his 0 for 4 day with maybe a single here to cap things off. Ambler, one of the better players on this Spartans team, really hadn't done it today in that leadoff spot. The Spartans really haven't missed him though. They've gotten production elsewhere.
As he hits that towards the second baseman, and that will be the 3rd out right there. So no run scored for UNCG. Now heading into the top of the 9th. UNCG still leading 9-3. Back after this.
The road to Omaha begins in Greenville, South Carolina. The Southern Conference Baseball Tournament comes to Fluor Field May 23rd through 28th. Enjoy some great college baseball with a trip to the NCAA's on the line in a city the New York Times calls one of the top places to go in 2017. Get your tickets to the tournament and book your rooms in that Greenville today. Experience the games. Explore the city.
Some of the changes I've seen myself since I've been here at UNCG is just, I've been really challenged. I've been really encouraged to come out of my comfort zone.
As a professor, what I feel is most important is to find that passion.
You have this dream of doing something bigger for the world, but you don't know how to get there. This is the place where you go to figure it out.
Welcome back to the top of the 9th inning now, in which UNCG has a chance to end the game here, not allowing, of course, Furman to tie them as they're leading 9-3. So leading off for the Furman Paladins here will be Sims Griffith, the second baseman for the Paladins, and he had a single in the 6th, however 1 for 3 today. We're looking to, of course, tie the game. It's a huge up-the-hill battle for the Paladins right now. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Yeah, down 9-3 here in the top of the 9th. For the Paladins, they've really got to get things going, and it's the back half of the order, or the half of the order that's really kind of struggled all series long, but they do have 2 hits in these latter parts, so they could make some noise, but 6 runs in an inning is extremely tough to come by. Griffith, Love, and Crawford a combined 2 for 8, so not a whole lot of production so far today.
It's Andrew Wentz now, 2 balls given and 1 strike. And that will be the 3rd ball now. Wentz looking to close out the game here. And that will be the 2nd strike, full count now.
If you're Wentz, you just got to put it in the strike zone here. You don't have to worry about giving up a hit at this point. You just got to get the hitter to put the ball in play or get the K. So put it in the zone. Keep your defense something to work with.
And that will be the 4th ball as Sims Griffith will walk. And definitely not the start that you want as far as closing this game out, is it?
No, you got to just pump it in the zone if you're Wentz. You don't have to worry about giving up that hit like we said. Don't avoid them. Just attack. Fill up the zone. Go home.
As the shortstop for Furman, Dylan Love, comes into play. He has been 1 for 2 today with a single in the 3rd. And he got struck out in the 6th with the exception of walking in the 5th. So he takes that first strike by Wentz. Wentz throws again inside. That will be ball 1.
Some action going on in the UNCG bullpen. I got to feel like that may take a while to get there. This is probably Wentz's game to go home with.
That will be the 2nd strike. 1-2 count. Good position for Andrew Wentz here. We're going to get that first out at least for UNCG.
Wentz has thrown 25 pitches already, though.
Wentz throws again. That will be fouled out of play by Dylan Love behind him in the stands.
On Friday, Wentz threw 25 pitches as well, so right around the same mark here.
A 1-2 count for Andrew Wentz, looking to get that first out. As Love will hit it, and Trip Shelton will pick it up. And it looks as if that is a double play.
Yeah, 4-3 double play here. Excuse me, 6-3 double play. Good play there by Shelton to kind of range over and erase the runner at first.
As we take a look at this one more time, just clearly did not get it to where he wanted it to be, and turns out to be a double play for the Spartans. So 2 outs here now. Jake Crawford up to bat. As mentioned earlier by Scott, struggling, especially today, 0 for 3. So very good opportunity for Wentz, wouldn't you believe?
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Wentz. A good opportunity for Crawford as well. He's a reigning all-freshman honoree for Furman and was the all-SoCon tournament team as well. So it's a spot here. Maybe you can get him going if you're Crawford. And for Wentz, you see blood in the water here. You maybe be able to capitalize and send this one home and get that 3-inning save.
Yes, indeed. However, unfortunately, not the start he wants against Crawford with 3 consecutive balls thrown. And that will be the first strike. So with 3 balls, 1 strike, and 2 outs, Wentz having that opportunity to close out here. And Crawford will pop one up out of play. towards Michael Goss's vicinity.
So just like that, he's back into count 3-2, a full count here, and there's a little bit more range in attacking Crawford.
As we see the ball get thrown back as Coach Jarrett picks that up. Wentz throws, and that will be a strikeout and game over. Spartans now close here 9-3.
With the win, UNCG will move to 21-10 on the year, 7-2 in SoCon plays. You'll see the strikeout here, just got him inside, guessing there. Furman will fall to 11-19, 1-8 in SoCon play. And the final pitching line for UNCG's winning pitcher, Dan Lotz, moves to 2-2 on the year. He went 6 innings strong, 6 hits, 3 runs, 3 of those runs all earned, 4 walks, 4 Ks, and faced 27 batters. Wentz will earn the 3-inning save. He went 3 innings, walked 2, struck out 2, faced 9 batters to earn his 4th save of the year. With the win, UNCG will sweep its first conference opponent since ETSU, April 24th, 2016. The visitors' pitching stats look like this. Quarles will get the loss. He'll fall to 3-2. He went 5 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 9 hits, 8 runs. All of those runs were earned, 4 Ks, and faced 25 batters. He was replaced by Will Dvorak. 2/3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, faced 5 batters. Hartwood replaced him. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 1 hit in relief. Kimbrell finished things out, 1 1/3 innings pitched, 1 K, and faced 4 batters. Thanks for all the folks back in the truck. Tony Hermain, Meg Sloggett. We've got Jarrell, Alistair, Morgan, and Isaiah St. Hilaire, and myself, Scott Wine. It's been a pleasure. You've been watching UNCG Baseball on the SoCon Digital Network.